So picture yourself in the future living with your spouse and children. Now imagine getting a phone call from one of their teachers telling you to pick your kids up because they just hit a classmate. The teacher will automatically assume that the violence is being taught at home, but where are your children really getting the idea that hitting other children is okay? My name is Guzman. I'm in Speech 113, Section 22 in the Arts and Entertainments group, and today I will be discussing violence on TV and its effect on our nation's children. I will mention what observational learning is, give examples of violent shows and their effects on children, and what to do to prevent children from watching violent television and prevent them from lashing out in class. So why do children imitate other children? Observational learning, also known as modeling, is learning new behavior from watching and then imitating. Social psychologist Albert Bandura stated, "Learning would be exceedingly laborious, not to mention hazardous, if people had to rely solely on the effects of their own actions to inform them what to do. Fortunately, most human behavior is learned observationally through modeling. From observing others, one forms an idea of how new behaviors are performed, and on later occasions, this coded information serves as a guide for action." Albert Bandura was explaining his social learning theory, which is that you learn new behavior from watching and then imitating, and he explained this in the Bobo doll study. I had a slide showing a slide showing the actual study. The study was conducted to prove that if children witnessed aggressive acts displayed by adults, they would imitate them if they were given the opportunity to. They were shown aggressive and violent acts displayed by adults, and then they were put in a playroom with toys and a Bobo doll. Without being given instructions, they went directly to the doll and started beating on it. So what are children watching and what is it doing to them? Some violent shows include South Park, which shows violence and profanity, Family Guy, and some anime shows which use weapons such as swords. Their effect on children are that they won't think of violence as a bad thing. On the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, a survey was conducted, and some psychiatrists stated that children will become immune to violence and horror on TV, so they don't know when it's wrong, and they will accept the violence around them. That will then lead them to hit their siblings, parents, and even their friends around them. So what can we do to stop this? Monitoring the TV is one step. Sit with your children, little brothers and sisters, and see what they're watching. You can show signs of disapproval when you see something too inappropriate, too violent on TV. You can simply turn off or switch the channel and explain what just happened on what was wrong with what they just saw on TV. Some cable television also gives you the choice of parental control, so you can monitor and control what channels you want your children to or not to watch. Another step is contacting your children's friends and parents. You can inform them that violence on TV is affecting their children too, and that can assure you that your children won't be watching those violent television shows, and they won't be influenced to watch them because their friends won't be watching them either. You can also inform them on how much TV children are watching. I had a second slide showing numbers on what children typically do every day, and the chart showed the 83% of children use any kind of screen media, and 73% of them watch TV. Many children watch TV, so the shows they do watch should be monitored. In conclusion, children who are watching violent TV tend to act more violently than those children who don't watch as much violent TV. I personally feel bad and embarrassed for those mothers who are yelled at and hit in public by their children from as little as 3 and 4 years old. It's a problem and it can be prevented and stopped. Thanks.
Julissa, just real quickly, there was the study that you said you had a visual aid. Could you describe that, please?
Well, there were a couple of pictures on the there was this one little boy who was hitting and just beating the doll. And there was a video. I didn't really know if I could put a video up, but it was a short clip of the child being put inside the room, and he went directly to the doll when there were many other toys around. He also had, I think it was a knife or a plastic fork or something, like a little tea set, and he started beating it with that too after watching
the problem I'm having is, what does that have to do with your argument?
That they were, the study was conducted to prove that children imitate others, and
how does that prove that they're imitating someone? A child comes in.
Because they were shown, okay, they were shown a little clip of, I think it was adults beating, I think it was like adults fighting each other. And as soon as they finished watching it, they put them in a playroom, and they went directly to the doll and started beating it. It was a study conducted a long time ago, so.
And the assumption here was what?
The assumption?
Put those two things together for us.
That after watching violence, after watching displayed violence, the children will then also lash out and imitate and act violently towards others.
Okay. Now, what you just did now, though it needs a little improvement, was you explained. You went through step by step. Now, we had to kind of put it into order that, they saw this, they did this, there's a relationship between what they saw and what they did. And all that needs to be explained. And, Julissa, and this is the most important part, it needs to be explained to the most important people in the room. Us.
Okay.
Not you. You're not the most important person in the room when you're up there. You're only important when you're sitting here. Then you're important. The speaker is not important. The speaker is a conduit for ideas. We're the important ones. And if you forget that, you lose the whole point of a speech. The point of a speech is us, not you. We're the point. And you have something to say, and we're supposed to get it. And that's what you need to work on. Now, I filmed this whole thing, and I want you to take a look at the video. Not for the grade so much. I'm boring you.
No.
I'm hoping that you look at it and you'll reconsider how you deliver your ideas. That's all. Okay. You can leave your cards with me.